The 40 Axioms of Divine Love, an exegesis of the rules of Shams Tabrizi. Assalamu alaikum, welcome to Sufi Essence with Hamid Said. The human spiritual journey has been articulated through countless metaphors and axioms, but few have captured the contemporary imagination as potently as the 40 Rules of Love, attributed to the enigmatic 13th century mystic Shams of Tabrizi. O Deus! These rules have been popularized not through a historical manuscript, but through a modern novel. The 40 Rules of Love by Elif Shafak. This is a crucial distinction. While the historical Shams was a spiritual giant and the catalyst for Rumi's poetic awakening, the rules themselves are a fictional construct, a modern distillation of timeless Sufi principles. This fact, however, does not diminish their profound spiritual value. Instead, it invites us to engage with them on a deeper analytical level, treating them as a coherent and systematic exegesis of Sufi metaphysics, an accessible manual for the seeker's journey toward divine love. Today, we will undertake a comprehensive and deep analysis of these 40 rules, not as a rigid code, but as a series of interconnected spiritual axioms. Our discourse will argue that these rules, when viewed through a scholarly lens, represent a progressive spiritual roadmap. They begin with the foundational principles of divine unity and self-awareness, proceed to the challenges and triumphs of the human spiritual journey, and culminate in the ultimate stages of self-annihilation and divine union. We will explore how these axioms systematically dismantle the illusions of the ego, reorient the seeker's consciousness from the external world to the inner divine presence, and ultimately pave the way for a transformative and direct relationship with God. Our objective is to illuminate how this modern text, in its essence, echoes the profound teachings of Rumi and the timeless wisdom of the Sufi tradition. Part 1. The foundation of the rules, divine unity, and the self-rules 1 to 10. The first 10 rules serve as the foundational principles of the spiritual path. They are a call to reevaluate our fundamental assumptions about God, the self, and the universe. These rules are not prescriptive, but descriptive, offering a new lens through which to perceive reality, grounded in the core Islamic doctrine of Tawhid, or the oneness of God. Rules 1 to 5. The reality of God and the heart. The opening rules immediately challenge a conventional, ritualistic understanding of faith. The very first rule states, how we see God is a direct reflection of how we see ourselves. This axiom is a profound psychological insight, teaching that our perception of God, whether as a merciful parent or a vengeful tyrant, is an outward projection of our own inner state. It shifts the locus of divine discovery from the external world to the internal world of the heart. This is a classic Sufi teaching. The ultimate pilgrimage is not to Mecca, but to the heart, which is the true house of God. The second rule, the path to the truth, is a labor of the heart, not of the head. Reinforces this by distinguishing between intellectual knowledge ilm and experiential knowledge marifa. The intellect with its dualistic logic is limited. It can only conceive of God. The heart, however, is the organ of direct perception, the locus of love, which can experience God. Rules 3 and 4 build upon this by stating that one can study the Quran for a lifetime and not truly understand it unless they have a purified heart, and that you can study God through everything and everyone in the universe, because God is not confined in a mosque, synagogue, or church. These rules challenge the notion that truth is confined to specific doctrines or institutions. They are an articulation of the Sufi concept of Wahdat al-Wujud, the oneness of being, which posits that all of creation is a manifestation of a single divine reality. God is immanent, present in every particle of existence, and the entire universe is a continuous divine word. The fifth rule, intellect and love are made of different materials, further develops this distinction. It posits that the intellect can lead one to the gates of love, but it cannot enter. The path of love requires a different set of tools: surrender, passion, and a willingness to transcend the rational mind. This is a profound echo of Rumi's own journey, where he abandoned a life of rigorous scholarship for the ecstatic intoxication of divine love. Rules 6 to 10, the reality of the self and illusion. The next set of rules turns the lens inward, challenging the ego's perception of itself and its reality. The sixth rule, the universe is a different version of the same thing, reiterates the oneness of being and shatters the illusion of separation. It teaches that the self, others, and the world are all reflections of the same divine reality. The seventh rule, don't waste your time on things that don't bring you closer to God, is a practical application of this truth. It is a powerful reminder to orient one's life around a single, ultimate purpose. The eighth rule, don't try to judge other people, is a critical step in the annihilation of the ego. Judgment is a function of the ego, a means of asserting its own superiority and creating a false sense of security. This rule teaches that judging others is an act of spiritual hubris. For only God can see the full reality of a person's heart and their journey. The ninth rule, how do you know what's coming and what isn't? Only God knows, is a profound lesson in tawakkul, trusting God. It challenges the ego's need for control and certainty, teaching the seeker to surrender to the divine will and to accept the unfolding of events with grace and patience. The 10th rule, the mind and heart are from different universes, is a restatement of the second rule, but with a greater emphasis. It is a call to prioritize the heart, which is the locus of divine knowledge, over the mind, which is the realm of the ego and illusion. These foundational rules, in essence, provide the seeker with a new metaphysical compass, one that points inward and upward, away from the illusions of separation and toward the reality of divine unity. Part 2. The human experience. Love, pain, and the spiritual path, rules 11 to 25. Having established the foundational principles, the next 15 rules delve into the practicalities of the human spiritual journey. They address our relationships, our perception of good and evil, and our response to pain and suffering. These rules are a practical guide for living a life of spiritual awareness in the midst of a world of illusion. Rules 11 to 15. The nature of good and evil and the ego. The 11th rule, look for the good in people, is a direct antidote to the ego's tendency to judge. It is an exercise in seeing the divine essence in every person, regardless of their outward behavior. The 12th rule, love everyone, for everyone is a traveler on the path, is an extension of this, teaching that compassion is the highest form of love. The 13th rule, good and evil, are two sides of the same coin, challenges our dualistic thinking about morality. It is a profound and difficult concept that posits that what we perceive as evil is often a necessary tool for the unfolding of a higher good. It is a call to see with the eyes of faith, to understand that even in the midst of tragedy there is a divine wisdom at play. The 14th rule, the universe is a continuous flow of love, is a beautiful and expansive vision of reality. It teaches that love is not a scarce resource to be hoarded, but the very fabric of existence, and that by opening our hearts we can tap into this continuous flow. The 15th rule, love is a choice, not a compulsion, is a crucial axiom that restores human agency to the spiritual journey. It teaches that the path of love is not a passive one, but an active, conscious choice that one must make every day. Rules 16 to 20. The journey of love and self-discovery. This set of rules focuses on the journey of love itself. The 16th rule, the love you seek is within you. It's a powerful counter to the human tendency to seek love and validation from others. It is a call to turn inward, to find the source of love within one's own heart, which is a reflection of the divine heart. The 17th rule, you can't change people, but you can change yourself, is a liberating and profound insight. It teaches that the spiritual path is not about changing the world, but about changing oneself, and that true change can only happen from within. The 18th rule, don't try to control the past, is a reminder of the futility of holding on to past hurts and regrets. It teaches that the path of love requires a complete surrender to the present moment, which is the only moment in which God can be found. The 19th rule, the journey of love is a journey of letting go, is a central axiom of the Sufi path. It teaches that to receive the divine, one must let go of all attachments, all desires, all illusions of the ego. The 20th rule, the love you give is the love you receive, is a simple yet powerful law of spiritual reciprocity. It teaches that love is a continuous flow, and by giving love, one becomes a channel for it and receives it in abundance. Rules 21 to 25, the transformative power of pain and change. The next 5 rules directly address the role of pain and suffering on the spiritual path. The 21st rule, every pain is a path to a garden, is a beautiful reframing of suffering. It teaches that pain is not a punishment, but a divine gift, a means of purification that ultimately leads to a state of spiritual bliss. This is a direct echo of Rumi's own teachings, where he saw pain as the surgeon's scalpel, cutting away the diseased parts of the ego to heal the soul. The 22nd rule, the universe is a continuous dance of change, is a reminder to embrace change, not resist it. Change is the only constant in a world of impermanence, and by surrendering to it, one can find stability in the eternal. The 23rd rule, the true lover loves the beloved for who they are, is a profound insight into the nature of unconditional love. It teaches that true love sees beyond the beloved's flaws and weaknesses to their divine essence. The 24th rule, the true lover is a mirror, is a further extension of this, teaching that the lover sees their own spiritual reality reflected in the beloved, and that the love they feel is a reflection of their own love for God. The 25th rule, the love of God is not an emotion, but a state of being, is the culmination of this section. It teaches that divine love is not a fleeting feeling, but a permanent state of consciousness, a constant awareness of God's presence in every moment. Part 3. The culmination of the path. Annihilation and Union Rules 26-40. The final 15 rules of Shams Tabrizi's code address the ultimate stages of the spiritual journey, guiding the seeker from the active path of love to the passive state of divine union. These rules are a poetic and philosophical guide to the final stages of the Sufi path, leading to Fana, annihilation of the self, and Baka, subsistence in God. Rules 26-30. The power of the heart and the unseen. The rules in this section emphasize the preeminence of the heart over all else. The 26th rule, the heart is a book that writes and rewrites itself, is a beautiful metaphor for the heart's transformative power. It teaches that the heart is not a static object, but a dynamic, living entity that can be purified and transformed through love. The 27th rule, God is a single breath, is a profound insight into the immanence of God. It teaches that God is not a distant, transcendent being, but is as close to us as our own breath, and that by being mindful of our breath, we can become mindful of God. The 28th rule, the true lover, is a mirror. It's a powerful reiteration of a previous rule, but with a new layer of meaning. It teaches that the lover is a mirror, not just for the beloved, but for God himself, and that by seeing God in all things, the lover becomes a mirror for God's names and attributes. The 29th rule, God is not the one who takes your life, but the one who gives it, challenges the ego's fear of death, teaches that death is not an end, but a transition, a return to the source of life, which is God. The 30th rule, the true lover has no beloved, is a paradoxical and profound insight. It teaches that in the final stages of love, the distinction between the lover and the beloved dissolves, and the lover realizes that they are one and the same with the beloved. Rules 31-35. The spiritual guide and inner authority. This section addresses the crucial role of the spiritual guide and the ultimate source of spiritual authority. The 31st rule, the true master, is not a teacher, but an embodiment of truth. It's a beautiful description of the spiritual guide's function. The guide is not a person who gives information, but a person who embodies spiritual reality. Their guidance is not through words, but through their state of being. The 32nd rule, the true master is the one who sees the divine in you, is a further extension of this. It teaches that the master's primary function is to help the seeker see their own divine essence, to help them become a mirror for God. The 33rd rule, the true master is not a person, but a state of consciousness, is a profound insight that transcends the need for an external guide. It teaches that while an external guide is necessary in the beginning, the ultimate guide is one's own awakened heart, which is a state of consciousness in which one can receive direct guidance from God. The 34th rule, the true lover is a drop in the ocean, is a powerful metaphor for the annihilation of the self. It teaches that the individual self is a drop, and by letting go of its individual identity, it merges into the ocean of divine being. The 35th rule, the true lover is a slave to God, not a master of the world, is a powerful reminder of the ultimate purpose of the spiritual path. It teaches that true freedom is not found in the mastery of the world, but in the servitude to God. Rules 36 to 40, the ultimate reality and union. The final 5 rules are the culmination of the entire spiritual journey, a poetic and philosophical guide to the ultimate reality of divine union. The 36th rule, the true lover is a beggar, is a paradox that teaches that true spiritual wealth is found in a state of utter humility and spiritual poverty. The 37th rule, the true lover is a stranger in the world, is a powerful reminder of the seeker's ultimate destination. It teaches that the seeker is a stranger in this world of illusion, and that their true home is in the divine presence. The 38th rule, the true lover has no past and no future, is a profound insight into the nature of the present moment, which is the only moment in which God can be found. The 39th rule, the true lover is a mirror for God, is the ultimate culmination of the entire path. It teaches that, in the final stages of love, the seeker becomes a perfect mirror for God's names and attributes, and that their life becomes a continuous act of divine praise. The 40th and final rule, the lover has no name, is a profound statement on the annihilation of the self. It teaches that, in the state of divine union, the individual name and identity dissolves, and the lover becomes one with the beloved, a state in which there is no longer a lover or a beloved, but only love. Conclusion, the enduring legacy of the 40 rules. The 40 rules of love, though a modern literary creation, function as a profound spiritual and philosophical guide that resonates with the timeless wisdom of the Sufi tradition. They are a poetic and systematic exegesis of the journey from the ego to the heart, right? From separation to union, and from the world of illusion to the reality of divine love. The rules are not a rigid set of instructions, but a series of axioms designed to reorient the seeker's consciousness and to awaken them to the divine presence that is at the heart of all things. By engaging with these rules, the reader is not simply learning about a historical figure, but is embarking on a spiritual journey of their own. The rules provide a framework for a radical transformation, challenging the seeker to abandon their dualistic thinking, to embrace paradox, to see the divine in all things, and to surrender to the transformative power of love. In the end, the legacy of these 40 rules lies in their ability to distill the profound mystical teachings of Rumi and Shams Tabrizi into an accessible and potent manual for the modern seeker, proving that the path of divine love is as relevant and as transformative today as it was in the 13th century.